What is up, guys? Welcome to Diggity, a video game podcast, episode number 116. I'm Jeff James. As always, with me, the incredible, unobtainable ruler of Wyoming, Luscious Brody Faults. How are you, my friend?
Oh, not too bad. How about yourself?
I'm decent. Just decent.
Decent.
The
I
weather's getting a
feel
little
you
bit
on that.
colder, which I'm happy about, but a little bit too much rain. Just
Yeah.
a little bit too much. But what you can never get enough of, our Instagram and Twitter. Follow us at Diggity Podcast on Instagram and Twitter, my dudes. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Diggity, Diggity, and subscribe to our podcast if you're listening for the first time, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Deezer, TuneIn, wherever incredible, great, bestest podcasts are located. Subscribe so that you get notified of great food for your ear holes. With that, I always have to do the food for your ear holes, dude. Always. What did you play? Before we get into news?
Really, I have played a lot of Call of Duty Modern Warfare since it released, and
Nice.
other than that, I have not played much. I played a couple rounds of Overwatch with you.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been Wednesday night, I think.
Yarp.
Before Call of Duty came out, but since Call of Duty came out, that's pretty much all I have played.
Cool.
What about you?
I've been playing Overwatch, and I also been playing Call of Booty.
Call of Duty.
It's fantastic. I've been having a blast at it. Been playing a lot of campaign. Dude, honestly, the graphics are incredible in it. I think, personally speaking,
Yeah.
like the way that they did the nighttime, like with your night goggles, and also like don't want to spoil too much in the campaign, but like when you have to do like airstrikes and it's at night and you're shooting down at
Looks
it,
awesome.
like it looks so realistic. It's crazy.
How far into the campaign did you make it?
I don't want to give away anything. I'm probably 4 hours into it. So I'm
Okay, so you're not
end.
too far from the end, yeah.
Yeah.
I beat it in one sitting. I couldn't put it down. I literally played it from like 11 o'clock to I think it was like 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, dude. Like I literally I probably wouldn't put it down either if I didn't have work, and it's been tough to just say, okay, enough. It's been like one more scene.
Yeah, it's
Just
really
one
damn good,
more.
and we will probably do our first impressions or whatever we wanna call them on Thursday or on our Friday show.
Yeah.
But this show was kinda already packed, so we didn't wanna put
Yeah.
any more into it, so
Yeah. Cool. All right, man. Before we jump into news, you want to hit us with the upcoming games?
yeah, October 31st, Journeyman for Elysium is coming to PC VR. Luigi's Mansion 3 is coming to Switch. Black Sad Under the Skin is coming to PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Actually, that's coming November 5th. I apologize. Other games that are coming November 5th, Grip Combat Racing Rollers versus Airblades Ultimate Edition is coming to PC,
Jesus.
PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Just Dance 2020 is coming to PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and the Wii.
Hell yeah.
Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 is coming to Switch, and that's only in the US currently. Need for Speed Heat is coming to Origin Access as well as EA Access. That's at 10-day or week early access to the game, so it will actually release fully the week after. Planet Zoo is coming to PC. Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming to PC, and Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition is coming to PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Sweet.
And there is a little side note for Luigi's Mansion 3. It will be $10 off at release this Thursday only at Walmart, which I've noticed that Walmart has been doing this lately.
Well, that's because Amazon's been doing that, right? They've been
Yeah.
doing stuff where, like, if you pre-order it, you get $10 off.
Yeah, and I like, when I picked up Link's Awakening, I didn't even know it was a thing. I just happened to go into Walmart because I was like, there's not really any point in going anywhere else, and got it for $50, so good stuff.
That's not bad. Yeah, cool. I'm looking forward to Luigi's Mansion 3. I'm definitely curious as to why they're making Just Dance 2020 on the Wii.
If I remember right, I think we actually talked about this at one point, and it will be
Yeah.
the last, Just Dance game to come to Wii.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games kind of confuses me as to why it's only launching in the US on Switch for now. I mean, I feel like you'd want to do a global release for something that's a global competition of athletes.
I imagine the the version releases for all the other different regions
Yeah.
next week, I think.
Um,
So,
except for Hong Kong.
except for Hong
Oh,
Kong.
too soon. Planet Zoo. Uh, I think this is from the guys that do Planet Coaster,
I'm pretty sure. And I've heard it's actually
which,
very good
yeah.
from what people have played of it so far. So
And
if
Red
you're
Dead
looking for a new Zoo Tycoon, that might be
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
the
this might
thing.
be the new thing. And Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC, I cannot wait to see what kind of mods get created for this.
It's gonna be great.
There better be a Macho Man mod.
Oh, I guarantee there will
Yeah,
be.
brother.
Somebody probably already has it ready to go, and
I
it's just
hope
a
that,
matter
like,
of making a few tweaks and throwing it in there.
God, what's the police, like, what are the police called in that? They're like FBI. What are they called in that?
Pinkertons.
The Pinkertons. If they can make the Pinkertons like a mob of Macho Mans, where just like they chase you. Yeah, brother. Woo! Yeah.
That'd be
That'd be
awesome.
awesome. All right, on to the news. Netmarble has announced a Nino Kuni mobile game. So, Nino Kuni Cross Worlds has been announced by the South Korea mobile developer. Details are scarce right now, but here's what we know so far. The game will feature the same great anime graphics that the series is known for, which, if you have not played Nino Kuni, get on that. Available on Switch and PS4. Players can form their own kingdoms to work with or compete against other players. And Imazin will be spirits that will act as companions throughout the game. Imazins can be trained and appear to be Pokemon-esque kind of within the game. It is unclear as to where this game will be released, but the game will be officially shown off for the first time at the I'm going to say
G Star. G
G
Star.
Star Expo in Busan, South Korea, which takes place from November 14th through the 17th. So hopefully we'll see a cool little Nino Kuni game, but everybody's getting on the mobile bandwagon.
Yeah. Netmarble is I mean, they make a ton of mobile games, so it'll be interesting to see what this actually ends up looking like when it comes
Mm-hmm.
out.
And taking
But
this
I
IP
mean,
there, yeah.
it's interesting the revival of that IP. I mean, they released the second one, the second game, and it did very well. And now it looks like they're all in. And I bet we'll be seeing more of Nino Kuni in the
Yes.
next couple
Hidden
years.
gem, dude,
Yeah,
until the sequel came out. Honestly, my roommate Bobby in college introduced me to that series
yeah.
through PlayStation, and my God, it was
I
incredible.
I'm waiting for a good sale on it on Switch, and I will add
Yes.
it to that ever growing backlog.
Haha.
Aha! So Death Stranding will be coming to PC. Kojima has now officially stated that the upcoming Death Stranding will be making its way to PC early summer of 2020. 505 Games will be handling bringing the game to PC. Co-founder and CEO Rafi Galante says we are extremely excited and honored to be working with the supremely talented team at Kojima Productions and to bring Death Stranding to PC gamers around the world. Death Stranding will take gamers through a completely original experience and will delight PC players everywhere. Death Stranding will originally launch on PS4 on November 8th, 2019. So
Well, I'll
then,
have to see people's experiences from that because I don't think you and I are going to be tapping into Death Stranding.
I no, not at full price
Yeah,
with
no.
everything else that's out right now. I've got a significant backlog, and you don't currently have a PlayStation, so this one would fall on me. And I don't know. I'm gonna wait on this one. It's
A little weird. Little
too
weird of a game.
weird for me to go all in on.
Yeah. EA Access and EA games coming to Steam, apparently. So EA and Steam have partnered to bring EA Access to Steam starting next spring. This will be the first gaming subscription ever available on Steam. And what a better company to choose than EA, as well as the fourth platform that the service has now been released on. Starting with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, EA games will be available on Steam. More games will begin to roll out over time, including multiplayer games such as Battlefield 5. God, no, yes, Battlefield 5.
Yeah,
God damn it, Roman numerals every
I
time. They get me,
should have
brother.
just put a 5.
Woo! And Apex Legends becoming available next year. Steam and Origin players will be able to play multiplayer games together regardless of which launcher they choose. Also, what they should bring, Peggle, your
Oh, I
boy. Plug in
it'll
the
be
Peggle
in
thing.
there.
Always,
Be in there. EA
always
Access
plugging
has
it.
Peggle in there. Yeah, EA Access, we've talked about it before. If you're a big fan of sports games or what have you, it's a fantastic deal.
Or
If you don't
what
play sports
have
games,
you.
if you don't play sports games, it's not as great of a deal because you don't get, the newest Madden, I think it's like 6 months after it releases or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
But for the entire year, and you get a huge catalog of games. The last I looked, there was like 60 games in there or something. It's
Yeah, it's a
crazy.
lot. It's a lot of, like, older shit, though, where it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, there's some, like,
FIFA
original, like
2010, it's like, "Okay,
yeah, fantastic. A lot of it is
I'll get
filler
to that,
stuff,
never."
but, there are some good things in there, especially if you're just looking to play, some newer games. $30 for a year is still well worth it, so,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely
Cool.
check that out.
You know.
Counter-Strike Global Offense has made a change to the key system, so container keys can no longer be traded or leave the purchasing account in any way. Keys that are already in your inventory will not be affected and can still be traded on the Steam community market. These changes will only affect newly purchased keys. The devs have reached out to explain the reason behind the change, saying, in the past, most key trades we observed were between legitimate customers. However, worldwide fraud networks have recently shifted to using geo keys to liquidate their gains. At this point, nearly all key purchases that end up being traded or sold on the marketplace are believed to be fraud sourced. As a result, we have decided that newly purchased keys will not be tradable on marketable. Sorry.
Damn.
A lot of people are very upset about this because the trading community and CSGO is huge.
Massive.
Um, so I mean, they pretty much destroyed it in one swift blow, which personally, I don't play it, nor do I really get into the trading too much of various different games, but it sounds like their system worked pretty similar to how Rocket League's was, where you'd get like a crate and you'd have to buy keys to open the crate. Well, the keys are the easiest way to exchange real life money. So you could trade, say it's $1 a key, you trade, for a certain item, you could trade 5 keys and it'd be like 5 real life dollars.
Right.
So it's a pretty common system. A lot of people are actually getting away from it. Like Rocket League, they're doing away with the keys and things like that. So it makes sense. It's definitely had its time for the trading and things like that. And
Mhm.
the fact that this game is still as big as it is absolutely incredible because it's a fairly old game. I don't remember exactly when it released, but
Oh, yeah.
um, yeah, it was kind of just a matter of time before this happened. I honestly, with all the stuff going on with loot boxes and the gambling aspects of it and things, yeah, this was just a matter of time. So
Mhm. Shigeru Miyamoto has been awarded the Person of Cultural Merit in Japan. This award is the highest honor a person in a creative field can receive in Japan. And on top of that, he's the first person in the industry to be awarded this merit. Moto is credited as being the father of Mario and The Legend of Zelda, a complete legend at Nintendo and video games as a whole. Miyamoto says that he's glad that the video game industry is being brought to light and that he simply wants to make people around the world smile. 66-year-old Miyamoto continues to say that he will not be retiring anytime soon, that he will continue to do everything in his power to do new things. So, awesome. Miyamoto's awesome. I
yeah,
hope to one day meet Miyamoto. That'd be
that,
really
that
cool.
would be
You
incredible.
know what? One day we'll have Miyamoto on the show.
There you go.
Long stretch.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time. I mean, he is probably the biggest legend in video games. And so, yeah, this is awesome, man. It's cool to see that now video games are kind of reaching the point where they're on equal playing fields with other forms of media. One of the other people that was added into or got this award at the same time was a somebody who makes anime. So, or
Oh, that's
anime
neat.
or manga, I don't remember which one it was, but yeah, very very cool, very very big deal in the Japanese culture. So
Huh.
cool stuff.
Cool.
Ninja Theory has announced the Insight Project.
Bum,
One of the
bum.
studios under the Xbox umbrella, Ninja Theory has made positive news in the last couple of years for their game Hellblade: Senua's.
Senua's.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Senua's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hellblade depicts a warrior that suffers from severe mental health issues and has been praised as one of the best representations of psychosis in any media. The game went on to win 5 BAFTAs, 3 Game Awards, and a Royal College of Psychiatrists award. As the studio continues to focus on how they can help shed some light on mental health and use their games to promote mental well being, the Insight Project was created. So, the Insight Project is an ambitious combination of technology, game design, and clinical neuroscience brought together with the aim of generating strategies to alleviate mental distress. The studio says we plan a program of gaming, technological, and scientific development. I'm just making up words
This is all
now.
scientifical stuff.
Scientific development that will lead to self-contained, individualized, and absorbing game experiences, within which people can become an expert at recognizing, responding to, and ultimately controlling their own fear, anxiety, and other negative subjective experiences. The work will be underpinned by rigorous scientific principles to ensure its effectiveness and validity, and will adhere to strict standards of ethics and data management. So this is really
Damn.
cool. Video games are generally not the prime example of focusing on mental health. Most of the time, you got a big burly dude with a gun just going around killing people without thinking twice type of deal. But yeah, that when Hellblade first came out, there was a lot of talk about it and how creepy it was because it does. I mean, there's like whole other voices talking to you the entire time and whispering in your
Mhm.
ear, and they really knocked it out of the park. I started to play it, and I think I got sidetracked and never went back. That's not a bash at their game. It just wasn't really for me personally. But it what it has done and the light it has shed on mental health has been fantastic, and it's really cool to see video games stepping up in that way.
No, for sure. It's really cool to see. I mean, they got Microsoft's been doing a lot with that. We're bringing
Mhm.
games and the benefits of gaming into life and the different applications they could be used for to fix certain things. I mean, like the adaptive controller and all that kind of stuff, the accessible controller that they came up with one good thing, and then to have this in the game is really cool. And hopefully, it helps mental health stigma and all that kind of stuff. So cool,
Yeah.
give it a try. Um, something that has given me mental health problems now. Overwatch 2 rumors, leaks, and I have soiled my pants apparently in the show notes. Um, cur- Currently, we do know for a fact that Overwatch will be getting some updated news at BlizzCon, but now it's becoming obvious that Overwatch 2 will be revealed during the event as well at BlizzCon in Anaheim, my dudes. If all the leaks are to be believed, Overwatch 2 will have new game modes, maps, and heroes, as one would expect. The biggest news about the second iteration of the game is that it will have PvE, player versus environment modes, and may even make it a major part of the game. Hero talents will be a part of PvE and will feature 4-player story missions. New game modes included Assault, Control, Escort, and Push, which is set in a map based on Toronto. Toronto. Currently, there is only one character that's being talked about named Echo. Echo has appeared in early concept art for Overwatch and was shown off during the reunion trailer that announced Ash. Echo appears to be friends with McCree and possibly even a partner for his adventures. So, let me just do this right now because there's other news after this that kind of casts a shadow on Overwatch too.
Get the good things out right now.
So, this sounds really good. Don't want to spoil it, but later on it gets a little bad. But 1, Overwatch, 2, PvE, 3, Toronto. I'm fucking buying 4 copies. I'm in. You had me.
All in, baby. Woo!
Yeah, all day.
Yeah, no,
All
this does sound
day.
really cool. I do enjoy the PvE stuff in Overwatch when they have like the special events and all that. It is fun, especially because a lot of times we actually end up having a group of 4 people when we do play. So this works out really well. And something that I can definitely see us playing. The biggest question is whether it's going to end up being basically like an add-on pack to Overwatch, or if it's going to be a whole new game. A lot of people are not excited about the idea of it being an entirely new game, which is understandable. I mean, you've already purchased this one, but at the same time, that's usually how sequels work. So I would imagine it's going to release as a new game. It looks like there's a lot of visual improvements and things like that. So yeah, I think this is really actually pretty cool and gets me not really excited about Overwatch 2 because it's really not my thing, but I know you'll be in on it, and our buddy Craig will be in on it, and so
Absolutely. Um,
I will be peer pressured into getting into it.
the Toronto map, by the way, is a total shill for Overwatch League investors.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
mean, for those who don't know, the Toronto Defiant, the Overwatch, esports team, uh, is owned by the same people who own the Toronto Raptors, the
Mhm.
Toronto Football Club, the Toronto Argonauts, the CFL team, and the Toronto Maple Leafs. So, I mean, it's a massive company that owns that shit, and they basically, I think they made like the largest investment out of all the other leagues or
Mhm.
all the other teams. So that's kind of weird. It'd be kind of interesting if they do like maps for all the different teams that are in it, like a Miami or a
Or at least some of
Orlando.
them. I mean, because there's a ton of teams,
Yeah,
but
there are a ton, but also there's been like a lot more like Overwatch, like Canada cross stuff in
yeah.
lore. That's kind of confusing, also, but whatever. Just kind of confused by the whole thing. Love it because it's Toronto, but
Yeah.
weird.
It is kind of a bizarre choice. But I think it could be cool. I mean, we were just in Toronto not too long ago, and I think it could definitely lend itself well to a map. But it'll be interesting to see what that
Yeah.
game mode is as well. I
Oh,
mean,
it'll just be
'cause
traffic.
yeah, it's just a traffic jam, is all
It'll be
it is.
traffic and people fucking going down where the streetcars go down underground, for fuck's sakes.
That pretty much sums it up. It's going to be
Yeah,
exhilarating, is what we're trying to say
absolutely.
here.
Yeah.
So next up, if you're done talking about the good things of coming to Blizzard, we have some bad things. Mind you, this is all leaks and from a angry ex-employee, a guy who got fired from Blizzard. So take it worth a grain of salt, but it does seem to line up with some other things that have been kind of circling the web. So this was on it was on 4chan, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was on 4chan. So this guy or girl were talking about all of the different things going on at Blizzard and some of the mismanagement and crazy stuff going on. So anyway, it says the mood across the whole company is bad, and buckle in because this is
Oh,
long as
this is
shit.
wild.
This is long as shit, and it's
If
also
true, this is wild.
insane. So the mood across the whole company is bad. StarCraft 2 is dead. Diablo 3 is dead. Overwatch, despite most of the fucking office saying sacrificing our casual audience to chase esports money was a bad fucking idea, is shock of shocks dying. Hearthstone is being described as in a death spiral. We've had 4 projects canceled in 3 months, and tons of teams don't know or good God, sorry. And Ion's team, I'm reading very small print here.
Mhm.
And Ion's team doesn't want to hear it, but Battle for Azeroth is an unmitigated disaster. Anyone who hasn't worked there for at least 15 years got a non-negotiable pay cut for or the choice to walk. Josh Allen went fucking berserk, all because Papa Activision wants to save money. People begged Morheim to stay. Now the sentiment is that he smelled which way the wind was blowing. So many people are in positions they are unqualified for. This isn't an insult, it's a fact. There are people 2 years into new positions asking their underlings what to do constantly. The brain drain has affected. Has, good God, sorry.
There's a
Has
lot of
affected
problems
company
with this guy's
structure severely.
message too.
Yeah,
It's
his
not
wording is
it's not
bizarre.
written that great. So
No, sorry, yeah. I'm struggling through it.
no
No
worries,
matter
dude.
how many people tear their hair out and yell at higher ups, still think trying to make an esports out of every game is going to strike it rich eventually. This fool's gold wishful thinking horseshit has cost them millions. Massive crunch on
Ugh,
projects like Diablo 4, people sleeping under their desks, grown men and women weeping openly as births and a few deaths are missed. Graphics
Jesus
artist has been
Christ.
put on paid leave after being caught self-harming on his break. 2019
Yikes.
has really felt like things are stretched thin and reached a breaking point. The next thing he went on to talk about is pretty much Overwatch 2, and there's a little bit of news before that. So, a plan to basically hire university students as scabs under a get your foot in the door scheme that may as well have been called its free exposure scheme. There was a punch up in the office after websites like massively reported on female employees having to log their ovulation cycles.
For fuck's sake.
Chris Metzen came in for the first time in a long time. He had major surgery on his back or something of the like, and that's why Thrall appeared or disappeared for Legion. And he left the office looking 5 years older and just depressed. Many artists let go and work outsourced to companies like Thai asset producers, XPEC, to lower production costs. Overwatch 2 is now in full production as a it will fix it release. God, I hate the way he words some of this.
I know, it's brutal.
It's just Left for Dead 4 with robots. Played the flashback seasonal event. It's that for $60 in exclusive cosmetics. And one of the strangest sights I've seen in person of color. I won't place the race of gender to for their employee. God, I hate this. Sake walked off in disgust at four flabby white dudes getting real excited to finally develop a game with no white men in it. Obviously,
Jesus.
the media message right now is we bow to outrage culture, lest it turn its eye of Sauron in our direction. But people don't talk like that behind closed doors. They didn't used to, at least. It was about making the game the consumer would love and enjoy, not chasing woke brownie points. The game is set before and after the Winston home invasion. The memes about Overwatch being entirely backstory was strongly taken to heart. Tracer's girlfriend will die, and over time, she will learn to heal after developing a romance with Widowmaker, who has her own journey as the Talon brainwashing wears off.
Uh,
Buckle in, guys.
this
It
gets
keeps on
real
going.
weird.
The McCree age plot hole is being retconned into him being one of three clones of Soldier 76 and a Metal Gear Solid reference. One is found murdered as the story seed for future content. Reaper is gay.
Just a point on its own, but sure. Good for Reaper coming out.
A third faction is being added to balance out a lot of the why would these characters work together just because they hate the other guy's stuff. Leader is a tech romancer that brings the dead to life using nanites. Her ult brings back dead players as bots to attack their own team for the remainder of their respawn time. Loot boxes replaced with direct time locked purchases and a weekly rotation selection and a strict seasonal buy it or it's gone sales. Couch co-op is happening as this was extremely popular with Diablo 3.
Cool.
Don't expect a massive engine upgrade as a version for the Switch is also in the works.
Nice.
Diablo, and then
Oh,
now we're
yeah.
on to Diablo 4.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Diablo 4
Oh, do you
went
want
in.
me oh, I thought I was gonna
I'll
take this.
do. I'll finish up Diablo 4 and I'll let you
Okay,
take over here.
okay, okay.
I'll
You
let you
got this.
struggle through this guy's
Yeah.
fucking.
I'm like, "Oh my god." I mean, if you want to, I mean, please.
Yeah, I got it. Diablo 4 went into sudden urgent production with the reaction to Diablo Immortal from shareholders. You dumb fucks, not consumers. Your opinions mean literally nothing to them, and many higher ups only show a distaste for you as a necessary evil they have to deal with. It's a first person game made in Overwatch's engine. It's an absolute mess. They intend to replace the vacuum in our ecosystem left by Destiny, and they want to essentially be the first fantasy shooter. It is not going well gameplay wise. They can't get the loot to drop properly, and Anthem's public response has terrified them. Fair enough. Three classes at launch, five planned as part of a paid seasonal paid content updates. Game involves siding with the demons after a millennia of peace. The angels are now an authoritarian, sorry, good God, all controlling regime who once again want to purge sanctuary. The tagline being workshopped is "Let out your inner demons," as the ult mechanic from Overwatch is basically a demonic themed power for each character. The final boss is a holy slash light infused angel Diablo called Diablo Primus. I hope to God the name changes. Ending cutscene shows all four games that have been set up. Diablo was a good guy all along, finding the strongest Nephilim to prepare for an invasion from the void. Expected to launch spring 2021 on Project Scarlet, PS5, Battle.net, and Activision's in the works subscription based game streaming service
God
running
damn
on
it.
Microsoft's infrastructure.
Man, this guy leaked. Okay, so let's take a break and talk about this stuff before we
Whoa.
go into the other stuff. All right.
Who
So
chose
yeah,
green as the font on this fucking website?
it's been around for a
Right.
long time.
Uh, Good God.
Wow. So uh Jesus Christ, I hope this man never gets found because he will be sued into oblivion.
Oh, yeah.
If any of these are true, he has just leaked what appears to be the next 3 years of Blizzard Entertainment's fucking. Once we continue reading the rest of this stuff, um, like 3 years of their product lineup. They just announced that there's a gaming streaming service coming from Activision, which honestly, at this point in time, everyone's fucking doing it. I
Yeah,
mean, we could have
fair enough.
expected that. Overwatch 2 sounds fucking weird.
Yeah,
On top of that, it sounds like it's a hellhole to work there if even half of these things are true.
right.
I mean,
And
I
that's
doubt the ovulation thing is true. If it is, that is fucked.
yeah, if any of this is true, I could fully see the ovulation cycle thing actually being legit, which is again fucked. But with the way everything else is being handled, again, if it is true, yeah, they're handling things really, really fucked up.
Mike Ibarra, run
Blizzard
right now.
Yeah. Blizzard used to be, the place to work. That used to be the place that people love to work at. And they gave, all these awesome awards for different amounts of time that you've been there. And it seems like everything has taken a drastic turn for the worst. If again, if any of this is true, allegedly, this, allegedly, this is all fucked.
Yeah, it sounds like Overwatch 2 is just exactly what he said, like just a seasonal game,
Yeah,
like just
all
all the
the
mini
seasonal
games
events
basically
just kinda
together.
thrown in as the actual game itself. I mean,
And
yeah,
Reaper's gay, apparently.
yeah, only I 'cause,
No, no,
for
go into it.
three
Fucking go
fourths
into it.
of the fucking game, all the characters are gay.
Yes.
Like, literally three-fourths of them. It wasn't
Not
like you
a
had
fucking
your
problem with that.
No,
But
it
there's
was
I
just
have
a
a
matter of
problem.
it's such this fan servicey bullshit is
It's
what
not
the
even fan
problem is.
service, bro. It
It's
is like okay. I'm gonna be the one that goes blunt on this one. This is like
Yeah,
walking
go
on
for it.
fucking glass that is soaked in acid. All
Yeah,
right. So not a fucking problem with characters being gay. Not a problem with any sexuality of any character in any video game ever. In fact, it's not a new thing. It's
no,
been
absolutely
around for a
not.
very long time before any of this very topical content that happens nowadays. But anyways, I don't understand why 90% of the characters will have to be gay in the game. Not a
Yeah,
problem against being gay. It just seems to me like it's disingenuous to make like it just feels like they're using every chance they get to be like, oh, soldier's gay. Oh,
right.
blah's trans. And it's like, it just seems like, I don't know if I was, it's kind of like the Pride Parade. Like the Pride Parade used to be just people marching for like gay rights and stuff like that. And now it's like a bunch of companies got in on it and they
Mhm.
just all changed their color, like their logo to rainbows and shit. And they have
Right.
these floats and shit and they fucking they get money out of it. Like
Yeah,
they're
it
just
becomes a
marketing.
monetization deal
Yeah.
is
It's
what
just a
it is.
giant marketing thing. And I feel like they've kind of done that with this game in many ways. Like I feel like if
Mhm.
I was, you know, part of the LGBTQ 2 plus whatever how long the acronym is now. I have no idea. I hope I fucking said it right. It changes constantly. That's fine. I just don't fucking know what it is anymore. And whatever it is, if I was a member of that, I mean, I don't
You'd
know
almost
how
be
I'd
pissed 'cause it
yeah,
it
I
it
feel
does
like
feel
I'd kind of be like,
disingenuous.
cool. So like how? You
Right.
know? what's the story? Stories, pretty characters, and then it just kind of comes off to me as like you just you're just kind of doing it just to get like the clickbait. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Look,
And that
we're
would kind of piss me
PC.
off.
Look, all of our characters are gay or bisexual or whatever, and it's like like you said, it's disingenuous because if you had a few characters or whatever, that feels a lot more, I guess, realistic in a way because otherwise it's like, hey, this is a group of like gay or bisexual or what have you, like superheroes essentially, and it's like, but it is right on the line of being kind of that fan servicey like or the monetizing some people's struggles and things like that all for the sake of hey we're the PC company that has gay characters in their game and it's like it's way too much and it's way
Comes
too over the
off really
top
weird.
and it's kind of the thing where you have this character like Reaper. If Reaper's that is out of complete left field. Like they've taken two of the, you got Soldier on one side and Reaper on the other side, essentially, and they're like the two kind of leaders of sorts in a way of these two different factions, and they're both gay just for the sake of being gay, and it's like it just feels so forced. I don't know. I
Feels
don't.
fake.
It feels so fake, incredibly fake.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and the other part too, where he goes into the people saying they don't have to make, with white men in it or something like that. That's, I mean, that's probably just a rumor or fake. I
Yeah,
don't know, but
some of it could
regardless,
be
if you
definitely
want to make an
true.
inclusive game, you would have to have every sort of race in it, including white people, because white people exist,
Right.
whether or not you want white people to exist. They exist. So, I mean, you want to call yourself inclusive, you have to have fucking everybody in it. If I don't like the color blue, but I want to be known as inclusive, I have to have the color fucking blue in my game. It makes no sense. Good God. Diablo 4. Yeah, Jesus. It sounds like Overwatch
Yeah, I
with
don't
Diablo.
people are not gonna be happy with that.
Mhm.
Diablo is very much a series that people love, and, most people weren't even happy with Diablo 3, which was not even that drastic of a change from Diablo 2, the very much beloved Diablo 2. So when you start to make it first person and essentially like a fucking shooter, Destiny-esque shooter,
Shooter.
people are not going to like this at all. It is going to go very poorly. And I'm going to sit with popcorn and watch the entire event unfold at BlizzCon. It's gonna be
After
great.
the fact, because for some fucking reason, to have a live streaming event, you have to pay for a virtual ticket.
Yeah,
Fuck that, dude.
monetizing
Just
viewing
why
a
not just let it
con.
go free?
I
Your
don't
marketing advantages for going to go free would probably surpass the admission of the virtual ticket, for
e
fuck's sakes.
especially at this point, 'cause, Blizzard has kinda backed themselves into one hell of a corner, and they're like fucking 20 foot deep in this hole at this point, try and not even trying to crawl out. I swear to God, like, they had a chance to climb out of this hole, and all they're doing is digging further. Like, "No, just toss me a bigger shovel, it'll be fine.
Yeah, dude.
Let's just keep
I
fucking this up."
bold prediction here, but during BlizzCon, I bet you there's just booze and protests.
Oh, absolutely.
Even before anything's announced. Not just pertaining to Diablo 4, like, I think just in general, people get booed off stage, it'll just be a shit show.
Yeah, it's gonna
Um
be a mess.
All right, taking over here. We get a crack at this. Pretty fucked up. Here we go. World of Warcraft. So the same guy leaking what could be real, what could be fake information. Final Fantasy 14. See
Got it.
that?
Nice.
Nailed it. Fuck yeah. It was all Roman numerals. Nailed it. Final Fantasy 14 is no longer allowed to be mentioned in the offices as a part of a "we don't allow negativity in the dojo" is a fucking daily mantra now. I'm reading exactly what he's writing or what he wrote. They keep saying it's natural ebb and flow. We can weather this storm, as WoW currently has dipped below 1 million subscribers when our biggest competition just announced they finally broke 1 million at E3, but not in the dojo. Shh. Loot crates were planned, but after Belgium were hastily reworked into an in-game reward coming in 8.2 or later. Level squish being tested for 9.0. Response to Sylvanas is stronger than expected. but general sentiment is that players will come around by the end of the expansion. However, response seeing in the void story seeding has more people worried. Next expansion lowers cap to 60 and level scales everything like the Elder Scrolls Online. Volpera and Mechanome are the next Alliance races. Alliance race unlocks will now come to the cash shop as a paid unlock after its expansion ends, starting with the Legion allied races in 8.3 and the BFA races in 9.0 and so on. There are two tabled competitors for 10.0. The reaction to the end of BFA is going to heavily impact the final decision on which makes a cut. The classic team honestly looks like the happiest employees at the company, but there's a growing one-sided animosity between the two teams. They think they can just replace us, paranoia, and classic is going to dictate who is in charge of 10.0. If the money says one team is clearly the more profitable, they get the reins. BC and Wrath servers are in the works as part of the classic trilogy. So there's Warcraft news. We're both not massive Warcraft players. I played a little bit, but that's your Warcraft news. Take that with what you want. Starcraft, RTS is a genre and is considered dead by today's standards. They try to make it an esport, but it's just not. Brood War shooter was planned to be a story with a live service element. Tychus Finlay survived the end of Wings of Liberty after Raynor shot him and left him in the Zerg hive.
Spoiler alert?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about StarCraft in all honesty, so I
I
don't
don't know
know
if
if
you'd really like StarCraft, dude. I
I
liked
don't
it.
think I would either.
I like playing it, but it's
It's not
crazy
my
all the
kind of
macros.
thing.
Taken and partially rebuilt as a cyborg by the composer, a shadowy beneficiary, Finlay led 4-man Black Ops missions during the events of Heart of the Swarm and Legacy of the Void. Planned ending of the retail campaign had Tychus and Raynor's bar years after the end with a new enemy.
It goes into that black text. I don't know what's going on with
Yeah,
the
from outside the
formatting on this.
galaxy invading en masse, something comparable to Halo 4's Prometheans, but more Geiger-esque and codenamed the Boiler Suit Man, and Finlay's communicator would show the composer's signal and end with a voice over of "Hell, it's about damn time" to lead into the first season of paid expansion DLC. I
Oh
just said
boy,
paid.
fire me up.
I just made him sound like McCree just because it's the theme and everything.
It does sound like a McCree thing.
It was constructed as part of the Every Game is Now a Live Service company-wide mission statement intended to out-gears gears. RPG elements such as upgrading more as a cyborg at the cost of humanity and losing dialogue options, or integrating Zerg bioweapons into your suit, which came with its own micro adjutant AI companion. Holy shit. RPG. Oh, sorry, my bad. It's dead after the last paid season pass box for StarCraft 2 flopped, and Diablo 4 got heavy pushing as a loot shooter instead. So there you go. There's StarCraft news. Get it in you. Hearthstone news. You think that Hearthstone is just kind of out there as its own because it's a card game. You're like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. But Hearthstone, new project lead, not popular with the team. That's great. Lots of butting heads at the roundtable meetings. User drop off is staggering. No Blizzard game in history has fallen off this fast or this far. Holy shit. Lots of worries about loot box bills counting Hearthstone packs as gambling. Rumblings in the halls that there's an experimental buy dust, pay more to get more, and save more system with legendaries now exclusive to paid, which would suck. It's not the esport they want it to be, and there was plans for a Hearthstone VR, but it's been mothballed.
Why would anybody give a shit about Hearthstone VR?
But I could sit and see the card.
Right?
I could
Oh,
see a table in front of me, like you could sit
yeah.
at you could sit in
Immersion.
the, but you could sit in the pub, right? And then the Hearthstone table would be there and be like, your turn.
Yeah. I'm good. So clearly it seems like the first half of this was a lot crazier than the second half as far as, the insane news coming out of it. The World of Warcraft stuff doesn't necessarily sound terrible. There's nothing like, checking ovulation cycles and shit like that in there. StarCraft, I don't know. Again, I don't really care too much about StarCraft, but sounds like it's trying to do things that it's not set up to do. And
Well,
Hearthstone,
StarCraft. the problem with that as an esport is it would just get. I mean, there's so many macros in the game,
Yeah.
like and that was like it going good, and then it just wasn't like there's a lot more action going on, right? With what he's saying, like with a brute war or brood war,
Yeah.
um, in terms of like Overwatch and shit like that. And
Mhm.
Starcraft would be like 30 minutes or like 20 minutes of like build up, and then
Right.
there'd be a battle. But I mean, it's top down, right? So the battle would just be, I mean, you know,
Yeah. It
oh my
would
god, he's getting my zergs. Oh my god, look at all the pylons. Holy shit, he's killing them. Oh my god. And
Right.
then,
And
that was kind of it.
it very much falls under the kinda pay to win category as well, if I'm not mistaken, uh, to an extent. I mean, you could get by without paying, but it definitely favors those that buy, different microtransactions and things like that.
A
So it would be
little
hard.
bit.
Yeah, it would be hard. I mean, but from an esports perspective, it would be
Oh,
really hard
yeah, yeah.
to justify that, because it would be very much, hey, this guy spent, this much money in the game, so
Mhm.
he obviously has an unfair advantage type of thing. But
Yeah, and it was also really big in, like, South Korea, but it
yeah,
never, like, took off that
mhm.
big in the American market, and, the company's American that made it, but they couldn't figure out how to, get it popular in their own home area, so
Wasn't it
s
Starcraft that like people were being found dead in internet cafes and shit over there
Yeah, yeah, and
because they
it
were
was like
so engrossed
StarCraft
into
is
it?
oh, yeah, and it's still a massive game out there,
Mhm.
but I guess they don't give a shit unless it's got that US market, which is odd to me because it's like you could go get that,
Yeah.
Scasia market, and be fine with it, but I guess not, whatever.
I imagine that the US market's probably more lucrative. I mean, I imagine you're gonna catch more whales in
Yeah,
the US
possibly, yeah.
market, whereas, in South Korea and stuff, they'll just play until their fingers bleed and they apparently die, uh, so they'll they'll earn it another way, but yeah, US, we're a little lazy, we'll pay for things.
So, all in all, man, I mean, it's pretty fucked up. If any
Yeah,
of this is true, I mean, even if like 10% of this is true, it's all pretty shitty stuff when it comes to game development. Doesn't sound like really what the majority would want, I would assume.
right.
And it just sounds like it's a complete disaster at the company. My takeaway from this is I think Epic comes in and purchases some shit up, dude.
Think so? As an IP, or you think they're gonna
Like the studio. I think Activision will I don't I mean, they're a publicly traded company, so maybe it's like a 10 cent will move in and then just throw a
well,
bunch of money to make the problem go away. I don't know. It
a
just
lot
sounds
of
like leadership issues.
a lot of Activision's games are coming from Blizzard anymore. I mean, really,
Yeah,
Activision has
they're
Call
just
of
a
Duty, and
publisher
that's
now, yeah.
yeah, and they just publish other games, so a ton of their money is coming from Blizzard Entertainment, which again, it's a partnership of sorts. But yeah, I'm thinking with all of this bad news, it'd be interesting to see how Activision is going to respond to this because again, Activision doesn't. They don't respond real well to this stuff. I mean, they generally just don't say anything at all and just kind of let it run its course, which
Yeah.
sometimes that's a smarter move. Whereas Blizzard has gone, up against the ropes and they're trying to fight back still.
Mhm.
So it's going to be interesting to see how all this kind of goes down. Again, like you said, if even 10% of this is true, that's fucked. And if this guy gets found, again, he is going to get sued into oblivion, and,
No pun intended.
yeah, yeah. It's an absolute mess over there, and this was actually one that I read and I sent it to you, and then you responded with just "holy" as one message, and then "shit" the next message, and then we got around to it, and then we were getting ready to record the episode and you asked me if we wanted to put it in there and I was like, "Man, I don't know." It was one of those that I was really torn on whether we should put it in there, but I do believe it is important and it did have its place here.
I mainly
Um,
wanted to report on it just because of, the game leaks. I mean,
yeah.
really, the other stuff was it sucks,
Yeah.
but, I mean, it's been weeks and weeks of bad PR for for Blizzard, and I'm sure it's not going to stop until like a week or two after BlizzCon when they can go into hiding and just work on the stuff they're going to BlizzCon.
Yeah,
I
all of
mean,
this came at a time
it's
as
wild.
Blizzard's setting up to, do their big con for the year, and so all the news is just completely centered around Blizzard, and everywhere you look,
Mhm.
there's still Blizzard stuff, all sorts of it all the time. And so we kind of have tried to dial it back a little bit to where we're not just focusing so much on the Blizzard stuff, but it is the big thing going on right now, and it makes sense to talk about it. And again, if any of this is true, I mean, I feel like it does have its place to be brought into the light and talked about because that shit is fucked up.
That shit whack.
Just that shit whack. Yeah, it's just Blizzard needs some good PR here.
I wonder what
But at
Micah
the same
Barra
time,
thinks.
I have no clue, man. He
My
walked into a
fucking god.
shitstorm. Holy hell.
Holy fuck,
What a
yeah.
time to be coming into a company like
As
this.
VP, yeah. Ooh.
But yeah, I
They
don't
need
I
leadership
don't know what
change.
else to say about it,
They
man.
need it sounds like they need leadership change. It sounds like this is really just like a Bungie-esque kind of issue. Um,
To an extent, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah, and
a lot of the quality of life things for their employees,
sure,
that
yeah,
that
yeah.
wasn't an issue there, but yeah, some of the growing pains, in the games and things like that that you're seeing, that's very much something Bungie struggled with a lot at the beginning.
And hopefully they can just get back to making like hardcore PC games
Right,
and still keep on that hit with Overwatch, obviously, but hopefully they can get back to their roots because that's what made Blizzard. It's so fucked up when companies buy companies, and I mean, I don't think when you buy a company that you should just leave it be. I think that you
right,
should do some things as an outsider that just probably help the efficiency of that company to do what they do best, even better and more efficiently and quicker and faster. Because obviously that lowers your amount of time and thus gives you more revenue. But I mean, it always confuses me because companies will go buy companies because of their perceived value in their eyes as to what that company is doing, completely separate to their company,
right,
right? So, like, why the fuck would you buy something and then say, okay, and we're going to fundamentally change everything about it, even though we know that they've made a shit ton of money because we're paying a shit ton of money for it, and there's all these other things to it. Like, I just don't, I've never understood that. I've never just let them be for a while, figure out the inefficiencies and the efficiencies. If it's, I mean, it comes down to two fucking things, dude. It's either literally organizational skills with the business and being more efficient, or it's they didn't have funding, but they were
mhm,
able to do amazing things. So then if didn't have funding, they were able to do amazing things. Give them more funding and they'll make more amazing fucking things, generally speaking.
yeah,
Like I never understood that about mergers and acquisitions for companies. That they just like to fucking come in and like reinvent the wheel, and it just destroys the new fucking revenue stream that they've just gained from acquiring that business. It makes no sense to me. I got into business talk land. My bad.
no, you're
I just
good, you're good.
it
It
just
makes sense. I
blows my
mean,
fucking mind, right?
yeah, it's
Like, perfect
uh,
example of an incredible acquisition thus far. Okay, now Lucasfilm was not as great, but Disney purchases Fox. Okay, what did they do? All the Fox content is in a bin over here. It's by itself. It's going to be part of Disney Plus, but they haven't changed how The Simpsons work. They've just let them do their fucking thing because The Simpsons have been on the air for like 20 plus years, right? Let them do their fucking thing. Let them work on their own shit. Give them the funding that they want, that they need, and then figure out a way to take that great thing that they do and just monetize it by showing it to more people or giving people more access to that shit. But don't touch the creative process of what is good and sellable right now.
right.
Blows my fucking mind. Unbelievable. Well, guys, today's podcast is time and effort to create. If you want to support us, head on over to patreon.com/diggity podcast. Become a patron over there. You can also support the podcast by heading on over to audibletrial.com/diggity. That's Diggity. You can get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial on us by heading on over to audibletrial.com/diggity. Get a ton of audiobook titles to choose from for your iPhone, your Android, or whatever device you listen to audiobooks on. Audiobooks are fantastic. Once again, audibletrial.com/Diggity. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Diggity Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Diggity, and also subscribe to our trailers channel. I totally forgot about that last episode. Diggity Trailers. We've just put our trailers up on a lot of other people were doing it, to be honest with you. That's kind of why I was like, hey, we need to do this. It also makes sense. I mean, you don't want like 5 videos in one day, clogging up the rest of the other stuff, and people get annoyed at that. So head on over there and check that out. Diggity Trailers on YouTube. I'm available on Xbox One. My gamer tag is Maple Jeff. Thank you to the people who have added me on Xbox. Please feel free to add me on Xbox. Brody.
Mine is Luscious Brody, and I have the same sentiment that Jeff just said. Feel free to add me. And thank you to those that have. On PlayStation, you can find me at Wolverine's Cousin, and I'm also on Nintendo Switch at some random 10,000 digit code that I don't have currently.
Aha. Guys, leave
Aha!
us a review. It helps us a ton, whether it is a comment on whatever YouTube videos or a review on iTunes or Spotify. Those things tremendously help us. They essentially make us get noticed on those platforms. That's how it works. And thank you to all those people who have left reviews for us. You've definitely helped us get noticed more, and we are growing. Boy, woo! Fire me up. So leave us a review. Thank you so much, everybody, and we will see you for the Friday show. See ya.
Overwatch 2 has been leaked. Blizzard has dug a huge asshole that they can't dig themselves out of. Will they find a way to get out of this hole? Next time on Diggity Podcast.
God, I hope our menstruation cycles line up for Friday's show.